Hello, beautiful stars, earth, air, fire, and water. I hope everyone is staying prayed up, blessed up, and doing what you do best. It is a beautiful late night out here in Rain Child's Corners, and I hope you all continue to do no other than what? Have I been? Have I been? Okay. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so this is part 2. Probably gonna end up using this, yes or no. But yes, this is part 2. Give me 1 second. This is part 2 from part 1, about the 33. And by the time you all see this, that 111 portal would already have, day would be over with, okay? But the 111 portal, it lets you know that it actually, just because the day is gone does not mean you still can't use that portal if needed be, because it still lingers probably for what, like 24 to 48 hours. Yes, that's what it does. And so this is what it was, right? I'll never forget where you come from and how your journey started. And we had spoke about that earlier in part 1, and we do know I might have to bring this deck down right there. But what we do know is there's some type of truth that's coming through as far as, moving on with the Chariot. We established that, and moving on with the Chariot, the Knight of Swords was coming through thick and fast, very swift, with some type of information. We established that was the truth, okay? And we know that someone's going to be all up in their head, behind this, being all up in their head or whatever, basically being guarded, because, possibly, a lot has went on, what do you expect out of anybody? And then at the same time, because of some type of truth that's going to be coming through, that's possibly going to be causing someone to be all up in their head. Okay. All right. And someone here, we know someone here is the High Priestess. This could be High Priestess or High Priest, male or female. You take it how you need it be. We established that with this priestess here, we established that, people, either you, male or female, have a lot of secrets, but you keep a lot of things in and keep a lot of things to yourself. There ain't no point in even just blah, 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 all over the place and out there with it. You know what I'm saying? Now that you know what you know, and that's gonna cause your cup to be flowing over, of course. And basically bringing through, this 10 of Pentacles, along with, with the 9 and the 10 of Pentacles, whatever the case may be. You're being, basically handed, a gift from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We established that there was something dealing with the King of Wands. That would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, whichever one. And we do know that some type of change is coming through. Okay? And so I'm going to clear my table. Don't have no big giant mess, okay? And then I'm going to pull this camera down, because I don't like it sitting all the way up there like that. Okay. So now that we established you know, all of that. We know that there's a lot of truth, you know, that's coming through, and we're going to have to probably adjust to a lot of different things that's going to be occurring. Okay. Let me stop, chat. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, I'm trying to bring this a little bit closer. All right. Okay, so we do know what's coming, what has always been, you know what I'm saying? Fruitful life. We established that as well. And so, give me a second, girl. Boys and girls. Alright. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull another card for today, for part 2. Oh, you man, got too many cards, Joe. So I was messing with my asking it as given last night, y'all, and it was blowing my mind, honey. Alright, so on this message, Abraham Hicks, you gotta love her, you know what I'm saying? I used to listen to her like every morning. I need to get back into all that as well. You guys will probably be really shocked, you know, once I started going through my awakening. You know, I always consider myself as just born awake, you know what I'm saying? But actually getting the synchronicities and stuff like that, you'd be very, very, very surprised that the very first reader who actually changed my life. You know, I've listened to a lot of readers, and I actually love a lot of readers, you know, regardless of whatever, you know, it is what it is. You know, there's some I followed for a very long time, and then, you know, you graduate, you move on, you know, and then sometimes you just remove yourself from people, you know, period, you know, because sometimes they change for the better or for the worse, whatever the case may be. But there's one in particular that I have followed for a very long time. And when I tell you, when my best friend passed away, you know, that was like the kicker, because my best friend was there throughout me losing, you know, my mother-in-law, my grandfather, and my you know, my grandmother, and then I had to endure her, losing her, you know. It was not good for a very long time. You know, you talk about trauma, honey, some people don't really know what trauma is. People be traumatized over over the most elementary things, you know. But everybody has their own traumas, I guess, you know. But yeah, this particular reader, I remember her saying, it was just like, it was on my birthday, actually, and I basically isolated myself, and this was like the first time when I was actually trying to stop, you know, smoking. So for my birthday, this particular year, I technically just isolated myself in the backyard. I was sitting in, you know, my vehicle, and I was trying to sweat everything out, and I'll never forget, I had fell asleep, and I woke up. Because it was like in a country, child. I woke up, the windows was down, of course, and I looked to my left, and there was all these mosquitoes, but none was coming in the car. I mean, and they could have easily just tore me up while I was asleep. But you want to know why they didn't come in the car? I love garlic, and I ate garlic all the time, and I still eat it all the time. So when I was sweating out garlic as well. And I guess they were wanting to come in, but they just couldn't. And it was just like a repellent, period. They didn't even come in. It was just almost like it was an invisible glass there, and they were just all right there wanting to come in, but they just could not, for the love of God, come in there and tear me up like they wanted to. It was so strange. But I was listening to her, and I remember her saying everything, like word for word, like with all the losses and everything that I had been through. It was almost like she was literally speaking to me. There's actually like 2 readers that do me like that. And you know, she was like, everything that you're going through right now, just think, you know, 5 years from now, you're going to look back at this time, and then you're going to be like, I was right. You know, I was right about everything I was telling you. And I was like, who in the hell is this? You know, it's crazy. And she was saying something like, you're going to want to take everything that you're going through, and you're going to use this to help someone else. And she said, so go on ahead and, you know, set up your space, your little working space, and go ahead and start getting into the motions. And, you know, I listened to everything she said, and I did everything verbatim. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she was like, you won't start today or tomorrow. You know, she said you will just, you know, work your way into the situation. And one of these days I will get to thank her, you know, because trust me, some of these things are needed. You know, when you just feel like you just all by yourself and alone or whatever, sometimes you just need that, you know, and that be God just speaking through certain people, you know. Be beautiful. But let me behind my every, I got 2. Okay, well, I got 3. Okay, it says, behind my every desire is my desire to feel good. It says, there is no desire that anyone holds for any other reason than that they believe they will, you know, feel better in the achievement of it. It says, whether it is a material object, a physical state of being, a relationship, a condition, or a circumstance. It says, at the heart of every desire is the desire to feel good. Okay. And then the second one is, absolutely well-being is the basis of my universe. And it says, well-being is the basis of all that is. All right. It says it flows, you know, flows to you and through you. It flows to you and through you. You only have to allow it. It says, like the air you breathe, you only have to open, relax, and draw it into your being. And it says, all right, it says, I am a physical existence. No, I am a physical extension of source and energy, and you are a physical extension of the Almighty. Everything in your physical environment was created from non-physical perspective by that which you call source. It says, and just as source created your world and you through the power of focused thought. All right, you from your, leading edge, place in this time, space, reality, and conditioning, to create create your world. You're literally a piece of God, and He lets you go out, to this physical world, and He lets you, He gives you free will to choose what it is that your little heart desires, and whatever it is that you want to create. He gives you that free will. Okay? Alright, and so what we had established, give me 1 second. All right, what we had established was from part 1 was that, you know, this news was coming through. There was, you know, either you're going to end up getting into your feelings behind this news, or someone else is going to be getting into their feelings behind this news. But whatever the case may be, I personally think it's going to be you and somebody else that's going to be getting into their feelings behind this news. However you may look at it. Yeah, again. You're going to be getting this news. It's going to be rushing through. Coming to you, and it's coming to you quick, fast, in a hurry. So just be looking for it. You know, yes. Perhaps, you know, you already know this. You know you the Empress or the Emperor. You know what I'm saying? And you can look at this 2 different ways. You can look at this like, since this is the Knight of Swords that's rushing in towards the Empress. Where's the way? Hold on 1 second. Let me get my incense. Yeah, okay, so let me get back to this. Yeah. There's no doubt. Alright, let me see something else. Doing this a little bit different. Okay. Alright, so we have, I think it's 39, let me see, about 10, 15, 20. Yeah, 39. So that's going to be 12, which is going to be what? 3 again. Okay, so we have 39. Kind of like still the same scenario. Okay, so let's see, what is it that can we find out? We already established that finding out what it was. Give me a second, let me see them again. Okay, because I'm about to get getting mixed up on something else. Okay, what is it that this Knight of Swords is wanting to say to this Empress or Emperor? Always let God Almighty archangels ancestors evils never welcome here. What is the message? Message. Some type of message, child. You know, because we know the Knight of Swords, you know, swords is air, words, mouth, speaking. All right, some type of message. What kind of message? What kind of message? Can we get it out? What kind of message they want to tell to the Empress here? want a message. What is the message about? What is the message about? All right. Oh, we have some type of, transition. It says rest in peace. Transition could be about. Now, when we have transition here, this really don't necessarily have to be about an actual physical death, but it can be. And we have divine masculine here. It could be about a divine masculine, or it could be that a divine masculine has transitioned, basically in the physical transition, did something different with their life. They could possibly have elevated, you know what I'm saying? Maybe cut off some type of toxicity. This could be a male or female, masculine or feminine divine. This person could have elevated themselves. They've changed their life. They're looking at things differently. This could be what this rush-in could possibly be about. But if it has to have anything to do with somebody losing a divine masculine be due to transition, I'm sending out my condolence, okay? Okay. Can we clarify transitions, please? Divinity. All right. So it has. It doesn't make it no better, not for me. You know what I'm saying? It's something dealing with divinity. So I said transition and how it just flowed out like that. Let me get one more. Give me, clarify this transition. I see you got divinity here. So that's meaning that they possibly, transitioned into their divinity. Okay. But he's looking like an angel too. So, but it's like this. It's like a death. When you have to go from one thing to the next. It literally is. Because you're shedding the old, getting ready for the new. You know what I'm saying? The new you. Okay? So, what is it? What else do we need to know about this transition? What was this transition all about? I know some people, you want to heal, you want to elevate. Enamor. We got a number 9 too on this one again. So it's something doing with enamor. What else? All right. Perhaps someone possibly seen their divine counterpart. You know what I'm saying? Male or female. And then we also have a karmic femme here. Why is this karmic femme here? Why is this karmic femme here? Okay, the karmic femme is mentally and emotionally unstable. What does she have to do with this reading from part 1 to now? What do this mentally unstable person has to do with this reading? I flipped over on her head. Okay, she's in poverty. Male or female, however you want to take it. They are needing some type of help. How did they get themselves into this situation? How did they get themselves into this situation? Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check. Yeah, the veil was lifted off of something. So it's got something to do with a karmic male. So this this karmic femme who is mentally unstable, who is now in poverty, I asked, what did it have to do with, the reading from part 1 to now? And it said the veil. There was a veil or something that was lifted. And it has something to do with a karmic masculine. Okay. So what about the karmic masculine and what veil was lifted?
Hey, can I get this skull candy?
Okay. What type of veil was lifted when it came to this karmic femme and karmic masculine? What type of veil was lifted? Something about them, their chakras or something wasn't lined up, or they needed to line up their chakras. What else? And something about some type of abandonment. Something or someone was abandoned. Something dealing with chakras. Chakras wasn't lined up. Someone was abandoned here. And why is that the divine femme? Why is that the divine feminine and divine masculine's problem? Because it looks like here, someone here, they're rushing through about this Empress here, or coming to tell the Empress something about a transition. Something dealing with divinity. This news that's coming through is going to cause somebody. Okay. This news that's coming through is going to cause somebody. Okay. Someone here was pretending that they were all lined up, just the end all be all lined up with everything. You know what I'm saying? With their chakras lined up. Someone was like head over heels for somebody. They ended up being abandoned by this person, whatever the case may be. And from what I'm gathering here, I'm gathering that some type of karmic masculine or karmic female has been, that is mentally unstable, basically caused someone here to possibly feel like they're in poverty or be in poverty, or they're acting like they're in some type of poverty. But whatever the case may be here, this news is coming through, and it's coming through quick. It's some type of message about a transition of a divine masculine, and it's got something to do with this divine feminine. So, whatever the case may be, what is the transition actually about here? Something about a flying monkey and a gift. So, perhaps there's some type of gift here for somebody. Yeah, because there was some manipulation. I'm putting it over here where this karmic is. Yes. Once again, on the bottom of the deck, some type of abuse. Alright. What's the final message here? Just lost a card. Okay. I'm falling down. Alright. So basically, what we have established, that someone here is going to be getting some type of news. You're getting news. It's got something to do with a message and something dealing with a transition. It could either be coming from a divine masculine or a divine feminine, or this message could be coming to either one of you people from a Knight of Swords. because it said, it's going to, they're coming in, flying through, to the Empress, which the Empress is a divine masculine or emperor, divine masculine, emperor, empress, or divine feminine, okay? Because we do know there's some type of manipulation that went on. It's got some, and also, once again, it's got something to do with a gift. It could possibly be your gift that you possess within yourself that's, that's possibly gonna, I'm hearing some, possibly help somebody. And then we got this karmic male and karmic female that is mentally unstable. This person possibly needs some type of help. What I'm hearing too at the same time, if someone treated you really bad and really ugly, you know what I'm saying, put you through some things or whatever, and now they're coming to need your help, I mean, that is really not your concern at this present moment. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Because, if for someone to treat you like SHIT, do the most with you, put on a show, whatever the case may be, that's not your problem. Absolutely not your problem. Yeah. Because the light has been shed on this thing. I think a lot of people have been, paying attention for a very long time. Had all kind of people messing and coming for you for nothing. You see what I'm saying? Look at you up here. And then you see the crabs, dogs, everything coming out the water, looking up at you, barking at you, screeching at you, whatever the case may be. Bunch of damn flying monkeys doing that to you. But then, I'm hearing you done what you had to do. You did right by people. And then for someone to try to come up and say that you did not, that's wrong. You put yourself in hermit mode again. Some things did have to be faced, and I believe you have faced these things from what I'm seeing here. Because if you have already put yourself in hermit mode, yeah. I'm hearing you're going to be sharing something. You're going to be sharing something. And then we had the Five of Cups. Someone is in some type of grief here. And I'm just hearing it's not your problem. What is this grief over? Yeah, the grief over you being the star. Shall I have to proceed anymore? I don't think so. The grief is over you becoming the star. The star of whoever it is. The star of yourself. You've been remaining in your integrity. You've been remaining, hopeful about things. I'm hearing beyond hope, because hope is basically not good enough. You have basically been knowing. You've been knowing. Yeah. You've been knowing, and you've been standing your ground, because you are the Queen of Swords. You're the Empress. You're the Queen of Swords. And you're the High Priestess. King or Queen. Emperor or Empress. Priest or priestess. You know who you are. Yeah. Again, more communication is coming through. Fast communication. coming through. Standing your ground. Fighting off whatever you need to fight off of you that don't belong in your energy. What's on the bottom of the deck? Again, new beginnings. Ace of Pentacles. So there was like a whole bunch of stuff or whatever that was going on here, but basically it's the same message coming over and over and over and over again. Let me see. I'm gonna get one more card for this transition here. What is this transition about? Okay. Someone was holding on to something very tightly. Very tightly. What they holding on to? Holding on to a pentacle. A page of pentacle. Not knowing you was the big pentacle. Why? Something dealing with the high priestess. Again. It's just the same thing coming out over and 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 over again. Yeah, someone's getting justice in this situation. Can't make it up, it is what it is. You're in the star power. Priestess. Whatever the case may be. Love each and every one of you guys. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Come back. Hope you enjoy part 2. And also keep navigating through this 111 portal, okay? And utilize it. And just know that without the Most High, God Almighty, my Father, our Father, He will see you through anything when you got faith, okay? And so, I'm going to work, okay? And, love you all. Deuces.